Saturday, December 29th, 8 a.m. Mountain Time, 2018. Guys, in this video, we're going to look at an earth change that occurred recently where a volcano essentially split in half, and it's down in Indonesia, the Ring of Fire. You guys are all well aware of this situation that occurred actually a week ago today in Indonesia when this volcano, Anak Krakatau, erupted and basically split in half. And to the best of my knowledge, in recorded history, I don't think this has ever been observed, at least on this large of a scale. This volcano no longer looks the way it does you see here on Google Earth. And in fact, we'll go back in time to get a little better look at this volcano. And here it is. It's no longer this shape. We're looking at a mile wide. In fact, it's over a mile wide and over 1,000 feet tall, and it's completely changed. It's not even close to 1,000 feet tall, and it's less than 2/3 the size that you're looking at right now. This volcano split in two, went into the ocean, created large waves that did affect the local community down here along the coastlines of Indonesia. And I've got video footage from the area that was sent in by our friend Fatir, and I'll share that video footage here in just a moment. But right now here we're at physics.org, and they do talk about this transformation of this volcano that at one time prior to this unique event was 1,109 feet tall. Now it's barely 110 meters tall, which is about 350 feet. In fact, it's no longer visible. You can't see the peak from the observatory in Indonesia. It has changed that much. The photograph you're looking at here, actually there's two, were taken by the Japan Space Agency, and it was done using a technique. I think they used some sort of a radar technique to get the size of this volcano before and after. And this is what it looked like prior to the eruption and transformation, and this is what it looked like afterwards. We're going to take a closer look at that and do some measurements here in just a minute. But as far as I know, nothing like this has ever been documented, at least on this large of a scale in recorded history. It's probably happened throughout history many, many times. That's what's created this beautiful, it's actually a beautiful part of Earth. All of these islands down here in Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, very beautiful part of the planet, but it's a very active part of the planet. There's a lot of active volcanoes down through here, and that is what is partially responsible for shaping the landscape of this part of planet Earth. But let's take a look at some video footage and some pictures of this volcano before and after this earth change event that occurred a week ago today. And that's what it looks like right now. There's less than half of the original volcano that's still standing, and alerts are still in place advising people in the area to stay at least a couple of miles inland until this thing settles down and decides what it's going to do. And more than likely, they're suggesting that people be prepared for possibly more large waves. If this goes into the ocean, which more than likely it probably will, nobody knows when though, it could create more waves that would affect the coastline yet again. So they're still on alert with regards to what's left of this volcano. Let me stop it right here. This entire section you see right here is no longer above water. It is below water in many, many pieces. And that, for perspective purposes, is over a mile wide, and it extends this way nearly, I think, 1,000 feet, or a half a mile. Actually, it's 0.62 miles, so it's a little over a half a mile this way, over a mile that way. That's a lot of mass that went into the ocean. So that's what created the large waves. So more than likely, the remainder at least has a good possibility of doing the same thing at an undetermined time in the future. This is a look at the volcano as it was erupting. I think it was the day of this collapse. This part of the volcano is no longer above water. It's gone. It's like I said earlier, I don't recall this ever being documented in recorded history. Maybe it has and I'm just not aware of it, but not that I'm aware of. A mile-wide section of a volcano disappearing into the ocean. Pretty incredible earth changes Happen all the time, but I don't recall ever seeing anything quite like this. This is a very active volcano. It's been active for quite some time. And here you can see prior to the event, it was in fact very, very active. People were photographing the evacuation process here. This video was sent in by Fatir, who lives in Bogor, Indonesia, which is just east of the coastline where this volcano once stood. This is a look at the water as it made its way inland from the collapse of the mile-wide section of the volcano. You can see water coming in and then retreating and then coming back in. I guess it did it 3 or 4 different times. Different perspectives on wave heights. I heard some were as high as 10, maybe 12 feet. Others were saying 3 feet. Like these waves here you see are probably in the neighborhood of 2 or 3 feet. Not exactly sure how far inland this is. Difficult to tell, but it's pretty obvious this is some sort of an outdoor restaurant and the waves are not supposed to be there. Video was sent in by Fatir. We received these about 2 or 3 days ago. I was waiting on, this is more after the waves came in, but I was waiting on more specifics on what actually occurred to the volcano itself physically. And I was quite surprised that over half of it collapsed and went into the ocean. I didn't think it was that much at first. It's a very large section. So this is a look at the area, or one of the many areas, after the water had retreated, or was retreating. There's still water in the roads. 1,300 homes, from what I understand, according to that article, were compromised.
Warga masyarakat di seputar pesisir pantai Labuan dan sekitarnya.
Another look at the waves coming well up into this restaurant. And here's a look at the volcano prior to its collapse. And this section here is all underwater. Once again, that's over a mile wide. That's an unprecedented event, to the best of my knowledge. It has never been recorded in modern history. And there's what's left of Anak Krakatau. So, a big earth change down in Indonesia in the Ring of Fire. And there's always been earth changes all over the globe. I mean, the earth is a constant, it's in a constant state of motion. It's in a constant state of change. It's just every once in a while these changes can be more dramatic than others. That's what's shaped the planet. Earth changes, volcanoes, water movement around the globe in different capacities, whether it be just random erosion along the beaches or big waves that come in and make changes on a dramatic scale. But earth changes are in full swing. This is yet another example of earth changes, but I don't think that this has ever been recorded where a mile-wide section of a volcano sank into the ocean, creating very large waves. I'll post a link to this article, this good article from physics.org that talks about this historic event from the Ring of Fire down in Indonesia. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a super day and be safe out there.